Section 10.6, Example 3 on page 632, we have a proof is a convincing argument that uses deductive reasoning. A proof logically shows why a conjecture is true. A two-column proof lists each statement on the left. The justification or reason for each statement is on the right. Each statement must follow logically from the steps before it. The diagram below shows the setup for a two-column proof. You will find the complete proof in problem 3. So here we have, given the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 3, we want to prove that measure of angle AEC is equal to the measure of angle DEB. So here's angle 1 and angle 3. We have that they are congruent, marked on the diagram. And we want to show that the measure of angle AEC is equal to the measure of angle DEB. So you'll always have a statement side and a reason side. The first statement is usually the given statement. Each statement should follow logically from the previous statements, and the last statement is what you need to prove. So for example 3, we are going to finish that two-column proof from the previous slide. As we saw on the previous slide, we had a statement side and a reason side, and the first statement was that the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 3 because it was given. Notice that in between angles 1 and 3, we also have angle 2, which is part of both angle AEC and angle DEB. The two angles we are trying to show have the same measure. So we can say that the measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 2 by the reflexive property of equality. Any angle measure is equal to itself. Using statements 1 and 2, we can add the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 2 and the measure of angle 3 and the measure of angle 2 and still have that measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 2 by the addition property of equality. Since statement 1 was true and we added the same value to both sides of that equation, the equation still has two equal sides. However, we can also see in the diagram that the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle AEC. Here's 1 and here's 2. If we add those up, we get AEC altogether. And the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle DEB. Here's 2, here's 3, and if we add those together, we get the entire measure of angle DEB. This is the angle addition postulate. Now using statements 3 and 4, we can substitute the measure of angle AEC in for the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2, and we can substitute the measure of angle DEB in for the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 2 to get the measure of angle AEC is equal to the measure of angle DEB, which was the substitution property, and that is exactly what we were trying to prove, so we have now finished the proof. The work for this problem is written out on the next few slides. And now I would like you to try homework number 5 on page 633. Fill in the missing statements or reasons for the following two-column proof. We are given that C is the midpoint of segment AD, and we are trying to prove that X equals 6. So some of the missing pieces are reasons, and some of them are statements. You're going to fill in all 5 missing pieces.